Good afternoon, boys and girls. My name is Chris Trout, aka the Trout91. I talk over video gameplays about life stuff occasionally, and today that's what I'm doing. If you're looking at this gameplay right now and you're thinking, looks a little bit different from what I'm used to seeing. Maybe sounds a bit different. It's because this is actually on the PlayStation 4. Also, I turned off my hit marker feedback audio, which basically removes the noise that comes from getting hit markers, and I've actually found that my accuracy has gotten a lot better. Well, that clip maybe not so much, but in general I feel like my aim got a lot better when I'm not focusing on the hit markers, especially because of the lag in this game. Sometimes it usually stops distracting you and thinking that you've killed someone when you haven't done, so it's just a personal thing, nothing really major. But I do have a PS4 and I do play Call of Duty occasionally on it. I actually got this one before the beta for Black Ops 3 came out, and I wanted to get myself up to scratch when it came to playing on the PS4, and that is exactly what I did. So today's quite a, I would say a personal topic. It's a little bit more into what is happening in life at the moment for me, I suppose, or what has happened recently. So over the past year, most of you should know who Henry is. He is a long-term dog that we've had for a while, family friend, family loyal companion, and he is approaching 14 in the 22nd of September, I believe. So he's getting old, and for the past year now we've noticed that his body hasn't quite been what it's used to. He's actually gone deaf. He has not been doing the same. He's been having trouble standing up at times, walking around. He's got no energy, and his body seems to be failing on him, unfortunately. And it got to the situation where we had to decide whether we needed to take action towards it or not. And we went to the vet to find out exactly what was going on with him. And it turns out that he had sort of like a growth on his nervous system, which really suffered quite drastically on how he was able to move and getting up. Like, he would struggle to stand up at times. He would struggle to get up and down the stairs or up and down steps. He would struggle to get around the house because obviously my dad's house is completely wooden flooring, well, for the most part. So obviously with a dog it can be quite difficult to walk around on that even at the best of times. So it was quite a struggle for him a lot of the time. And then recently he started going to the toilet in the house as well, which during the night, which meant that, you know, his body is just not able to cope with what it used to be able to cope with. And unfortunately, this morning we had to put him down. Now, it is a very tough thing to do. I mean, most of you have watched my videos. I've always mentioned Henry throughout them. You lot can probably remember the Henry feed, and whenever the dogs come out on Call of Duty, I'm always talking about Henry, and the boys have always said it, especially Steve. And he was probably one of the best companions a guy could ask for. An absolute amazing dog, incredibly loyal, incredibly protective of the people he cared about. Very generous and very happy and very friendly. Couldn't ask for a much better dog. He was a border collie as well, so he was just an exciting, energetic dog throughout his life. And towards the end, you could just tell that it wasn't really the same for him anymore. His body wasn't quite what it used to be, and that's just how things go with anyone and anything in general. Like, you get to a point where your body just doesn't keep up anymore, and it was a real shame. And I mean, I remember when my mum was, you know, about to pass away. I saw her the day that she actually passed away, and I actually had an exam the next day, and I hadn't really revised for it at all, and I had to leave her in the hospital to go home and study, and I didn't even study in the end. I was too upset with the whole thing and the situation, but I tried to force myself to go home and study. So I did see her, and I didn't say goodbye to her. I simply said I love you, and I'll see you soon. But I never said goodbye. I didn't want to say goodbye, you know, because it's tough to say that to someone that you care so much for. It really, really is. And I always regretted not being there for when she did eventually pass away. And this time, when a similar situation came up, I was thinking to myself, I don't want to not be there when it happens. And I decided with my dad yesterday that I would go with him to be there for when it happened. And it got to the evening time. I had gone to the gym and I came over to see him before, and I couldn't. I said to him, I can't go. I literally can't go. The worst part is because he looked so lively and happy, like, to see me, and he just looked normal. It just looked like he hadn't changed at all, apart from his body not really being the same. It was a shame that we had to let him go, because it wasn't like he was absolutely out of... He wasn't out of it. He had these loopy moments, but I think that's due to the deafness and the being old and tired. But it was really hard to make myself want to go and see him being lifeless, if that makes sense, after seeing him so lively and active just the day before. And I think I would have rather remembered him being lively and active the way he was. And goodbyes are difficult that way. I didn't say goodbye again. I just looked at him, said I love you, and then, you know, just went on my way back home. And goodbyes are difficult. They are really difficult, and you have to be really sure about how you want to do a goodbye, because they're not easy to do, especially when it's someone you care about. And I don't know how many of you have ever had to do that in your life, but it's not an easy thing, and it's something that you do have to live with for the rest of your life. So you got to make sure you do get it right and you can live with it. And I'm sure today being the 11th of September, or as most of you will remember it as 9/11, being a traumatic time for a lot of people who didn't actually get to say goodbye properly to the people that they loved. And my heart goes out to them. I know that it can't be easy to have to live with what happened and knowing that you never got to give a proper goodbye to the people you care about. And it is tough. Life sucks at the end of the day. There's a lot of awful things that happen in this world and a lot of awful moments. And I guess all you can do is bounce back from it and try your best to get through as best as you can. And it's tough. Life's been a bit of a damper for me in recent times, so I'm just going to have to do my best to jump back on the horse and get myself back into a good place. But I hope you guys think of this commentary and go and do something very productive and thoughtful with your weekend. And I hope to see you later. Peace out.